Greetings everyone and welcome to the 173rd edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zac and I'm joined by the ASMR enthusiast aka Fitzy aka Liam.
G'day. Ahoy.
Ahoy. Nice. We were just joking about it, but I feel like I need to acknowledge on air. We usually just ignore when one of our co-hosts aren't here. We just don't bring them up, which I also find pretty funny. But I do want to acknowledge on air so Jaden can hear it as well, that we were joking about the fact that this might be the beginning of the end for Cinema Effect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The crew is falling apart.
This is the first sign, the first portent. It's all coming to a halt.
It really is. We've been fighting a lot. I just want to sort of get that out there for the audience to understand, there's a lot of inner conflict here in the crew.
Just creative differences. Yeah.
Creative differences. That's right. So, we'll see if we can get on the same page for next week. We might be able to then, I don't know, come back next week. Keep it civil for a little bit. But then, let's be honest, the arc's going to be we're going to fall apart, show's going to disappear, then we're going to do a reunion special episode or some shit, and everyone will love it.
20 years later. Yeah.
20, oh my God. Oh, I don't know if we'll be alive for that. But anyway, that was just a huge spoiler alert for how this is going to end up playing out for the audience. But anyway, we'll try and hang in there for today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much any podcast app, I'm pretty sure. So subscribe on all those things if you enjoy the show. This week, the movie we're reviewing is called Labyrinth. Holy shit, I was going to say Pan's Labyrinth because we were just talking about it. No, not Pan's, just Labyrinth. It opened in the US on June 27th, 1986. It was directed by Jim Henson. It is a fantasy adventure film. I would argue also a horror film, but anyway, and the synopsis says, 16-year-old Sarah must solve a labyrinth to rescue her baby brother when he is taken by the Goblin King. I think it's also worth clarifying that when the synopsis says the Goblin King, you probably envision some orc-like thing from the Lord of the Rings, but the Goblin King is just David Bowie.
He's actually a foreigner, yeah. He's not actually a goblin. Yeah.
No, he's just a British guy. He's British, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Colonialism at its worst, the British taking over all these marginal communities.
Exactly. Even the goblins didn't stand a chance, man.
The fucking goblins.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Fitzy, you nominated this in the poll.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You won the poll. So we watched Labyrinth. What did you think of it?
So at first, I was I thought I would make it through. I thought it'd be okay. I picked it first. So when I first picked it, I thought that it was a better movie, but just that I knew there would be bad elements to it, but I'd feel it would be like a fifth element kind of situation where just the casting and the set design, production design, and just the comedy, I guess, would see me through. But it just got way too fucking random for me, midway through, and there wasn't much semblance of sense or a story. So I kind of checked out, but I don't know. I do respect it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Oh my God, Liam, I can't believe this has happened. It's I definitely didn't dislike it.
What?
It's I'm a bit in the middle. I'm hoping this conversation helps shape my views more. I'm probably the only person on earth to say that about Labyrinth, because everyone else is probably either this is boring or this is just a kid's movie. What the hell? Shut up, Zac. But I don't know. I think there's kind of a lot here, to be honest. I appreciate a lot about it, particularly the high levels of creativity, and clearly, anyone can see the high levels of production value in this for the time, and it's doing some very impressive stuff. So I was quite impressed with a lot of what I was seeing. So much imagination with the puppeteering and so forth. But yeah, story-wise, it's definitely a mixed bag, because there's some stuff where I definitely I definitely just tuned out, for sure. There's some stuff. And then oddly at times, I found when the plot, of which it's very simple / loose, when the plot was basically sort of like just in the vibe of a dark Sesame Street episode. Like, I was kind of into it. Like, it was like probably when I was enjoying the film the most. It's such a weird film. It really is. I'm glad we watched it. I actually am thankful that you nominated it somehow. This roles have reversed somewhat, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the first half in that way, in a dark Sesame. That's a good way to put it. Dark Sesame Street. Kind of nightmare way.
Right. Exactly. Let's talk about let's just talk about the puppets first. I want to give the film its flowers here because everything that it does practically, I was very, very impressed. It might be some of the best I've ever seen, honestly. And this was what, like 37 years ago or whatever, 7 years ago. There's just tons of visual personality in this film, all done practically. It's all pretty cool. And that was sort of one of the things I enjoyed how the story was taking us through and progressing, was the fact that, when it starts off, this sort of fades later, I think, a little bit, but when it starts off, it's literally just like you're following Sarah trying to walk through the maze, It's just like, she's just walking around every corner, and it's like, what's she going to come across next? Like, I found that pretty exciting in terms of, I really had no idea what this film was going to throw at me next. Like, she meets all these weird-ass, quirky British characters who, like, say funny lines and shit, and they all look like, it was just like such a random adventure that I was kind of into that. It was like, she walks around one corner and there's a tiny little beetle dude who's like, teaches her about the illusion of the maze, and then she walks around another corner and then there's like talking walls and shit. Like, it's just so weird. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute, And like, and seeing how all these different elements, all these different characters are like, I don't know, like all done in camera, done really, really well. Like all of these characters would just be CG today, but they look so good. I really believe that. Like all the goblins, and I mean, we can talk about all the, like, some of the main characters look phenomenal, but just everything, like all the background characters and even just little dudes that we meet along the way. Like, there's that part where there's like the talking stone faces in the wall,
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And it's just like, as an idea, it's kind of generic. Like, we've seen that shit, but seeing it on screen done clearly, like all the actors are just there doing it. Like, there's no visual effects to it. It's just fantastic. I just think it's really charming. And then same thing with when they meet, like, the weird. It's just also weird. Like, when they meet, what were the dudes that were like hanging upside down with each other, that were like guarding that wall and like lying to, they wouldn't
the
say
truth
who was
and
lying.
the truthful guy and the lying guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that was just like, meeting them was just so cool, because it was like, they look so good, and it's just so, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a fun interaction as well. So, like, in that sense, when I'm just sort of on the ride, and like every few minutes there's like a new cool creature or a weird sort of sense of humor thing that comes up. Like, I'm into all that stuff at least early on, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I liked the interaction aspect. Like every corner is like kind of a new interaction, up to a certain point, because like all the interactions are pretty like goofy and unexpected, and they're pretty funny as well.
Yeah,
there's definitely parts that I was laughing at when just first like going through the maze. Yeah,
definitely. Very, very British. I found very British banter.
Oh yeah,
Bants, as they call it. I think. I don't know, but
oh yeah.
There's a lot of that in the film, which is very, very cool. I found the film funny. I really did. My favorite character, humor wise, had to be I can't remember his goddamn name. I can't remember much about this, like, details and shit, but like the Squirrel Knight guy.
Oh yeah, he was an MVP for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, he was fantastic. Well, he had some fantastic lines, like when he's there guarding the bridge, and it's like, oh, what, you won't? I can't pass without giving permission. Can we have your permission? And he like, just, you know what I mean? It's just like really stupid. It's just like, he thinks about it. He's like, I guess, yeah, sure. So yeah, no, that was an example of silly humor standing out, particularly with him. Another line that cracked me up was when he said, "I don't know why we have to be quiet. It's only a goblin city," which he said completely deadpan seriously, which was funny. But any particular things in the film that you found funnier than others that stood out to you? I'm glad you think I've already forgotten his name. Sir Squirrel Man. I'm glad you think that that he was funny. MVP.
Hoggins was actually. I don't think Hoggins was that funny. It was actually at first he was really funny. Like when we first saw him, and he was like, kind of just doing his own thing. That was funny. I was killing the fairies. Oh, at the very start, he's killing the fairies, like, and he's like spraying them. And he's like, "What do you think they are? They're pests. You know, they bite you."
Yeah,
that was funny.
Arguably funnier though was when he was taking a piss.
Oh yeah. All right, that's his introduction.
You just don't ever expect to see that, and he ends up being like, I don't know, like the equivalent of like the main puppet character that you're meant to iconic that you're meant to like in the film or whatever. And he's saying his introduction is he's taking a piss. I think it's pretty good.
Well, I only realized afterwards that so they show the book of the Wizard of Oz like early on. They show like the title, and like it's kind of like semi Wizard of Oz with like him being like the lion. You know, like his arc is like the bravery, like coward to,
right,
brave lion kind of arc. But the others don't follow that. Sure. But in terms of, there being like three people and they're on a journey and one of them has this it is kind of Wizard of Oz-y.
Interesting. And and she's a teenage girl taken to a far, far away land or whatever. I didn't think of that at all. That's actually like, wow, it's actually pretty Wizard of Oz. It's like, it's kind of dark. As well.
The dog just turns up and is like the squirrel guy's, personal
That was fantastic. That was fantastic. So the dog's name, I had a question about that. The dog's name was Ambrosius. Well, that's what the Squirrel Man called him. But earlier in the film, it's her pet, right? Called Merlin? She called him Merlin. Yeah. So I presume, I don't want to jump too far ahead into the ending, but I presume this is meant to play into the whole idea of they're all like, all the characters are like toys and shit and things from her life.
Yeah, well, I think they're all like in the room or whatever. Like, I think there might be a photo of like Bowie on her like mirror. I think it kind of looks like him. Like it could have been a dad or something, but it kind of looked like Bowie.
That would make sense. At least with my understanding of what I think was happening.
I didn't look at like the array of puppets she has on her wall, but she does have like the Escher painting, like drawing, like with the the stairs going in different dimensions and stuff.
Got it.
So I think it is like supposed to be a world made of like objects in a room. Yeah.
Yes. That's cool. Do you reckon if it was David Bowie's picture, do you think like in universe it is just David Bowie? But like, and then she imagines David Bowie, like she's a big Bowie fan or some shit, and she imagines Bowie as being a Goblin King in her own imaginary world.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, the photo of him on the mirror was like very theatery. Like he was like a theater guy and not like a music guy. But it could be. That would make sense.
Okay. It would explain why he sings too, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like within the context of the film, I understand it's David Bowie. I get it. Within the context of the film, it's pretty random.
And the fact that he's a Goblin King as well.
Let's not forget.
He's only Goblin.
Definitely. Oh my god, that was crazy. I can't move on without pointing out that you called the guy Hoglin or whatever you called him. What do you call him? Hoggling?
Is that Hoggle?
It's Hoggle, but that's not what you said.
No, I think I said Hoggle.
You didn't. Everyone rewind the tape. You definitely didn't. And that's so funny because that's the joke in the movie that no one calls him his name correctly, and you just did it. That's fantastic. Anyway, that's why I laughed so hard. That was good. Yeah. So that's right. So Ambrosius is isn't that the same guy that was in Nimona earlier this year? Isn't there a character called Ambrosius in that movie?
Oh, maybe like the night guy.
That rings a bell. I think so.
Anyway, mythological. Yeah.
Right, that would make sense. It just stood out to me because I wrote Ambrosius in my notes, and I'm like, hang on, I swear I've done this recently. Like, why else would I have written Ambrosius? But yeah, anyway, that's cool.
Do you like delete your notes after like the episodes are done?
Yes, that's a good question. But yes, they're gone forever. Yeah, they're gone. I don't even, not a second thought, to be honest.
Right. Because if you kept like a massive document of all the notes, you'd like Control F, search. What you've seen before, it'd be like 150 pages long or whatever.
That would be kind of cool, like to go back and see what I wrote for some shit in 2020 or something. But like, I don't know, it's going to be basically illegible to me. I'm going to have no idea what that was, what I was saying. In terms of the characters, though, all right. So yeah, we shout out to Sir Squirrel Nightman. Hoggle, yeah, we shout out Hoggle. He was good. I enjoyed
Ludo.
him, dude. Ludo is the goat. All right, Ludo is my man.
Mm.
I was the biggest. The second he turned up on screen, he was like hanging upside down. I'm like I didn't know because this film, every time we met a new character, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I thought maybe he could be like a boss fight. I don't know. I had no idea. And then when he joins the party, it was like I felt like the most satisfying little video game thing. Like Ludo has joined the party, and I'm just like, this is the coolest shit ever. He is amazing. I loved him so much. I want to give him a hug so bad. And in line with Hoggle and everyone else, dude, he looks amazing. Looks fantastic. So the film 1986, he looks for his size and everything, and being operated by multiple puppeteers and stuff. I think he blows like previous puppet characters of sort of similar sizes out of the water. Like Jabba the Hutt looks like dog shit compared to Ludo. Like I'm not even joking. Ludo looks fantastic. He's like just way more convincing in the face, and the fact he's standing and moving on 2 feet, like way better than a lot of even CG I've seen. Because like in all the scenes when there's just wide shots and he's just walking around and Sarah's there and they're just like interacting and they're basically the Fellowship of the Ring in some of these scenes. It's just so cool because he's so tangible. He's there interacting with Jennifer and shit. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. And, I'm watching the film to an extent, sort of looking for like where choices of where they cut to like hide the puppets having to do too complicated movements, I suppose. Like, for example, anytime the Squirrel Nightman has to mount Ambrosius, like they never show that because they cleverly cut around it because they obviously the puppet can't do it, But that never the film does a really good job of that editing wise of just keeping everything feeling seamless and flowing. It never stands out as jarring or like weird awkward movements or anything. And I just think that was sort of a tangent, but I just think it's really impressive how they pull that off with someone of Ludo's size. Because anyway, he's great. I just want to give him a hug. That's basically it. I want a teddy bear of Ludo.
Yeah, Ludo's great. Everyone in the team is great. They're all MVPs.
It's just so satisfying when they start building up. Like, did you feel for like so the others? They rescue Ludo because he's being like harassed and shit. That's A+ move there. The night guy was kind of a fun recruitment. But did you feel for Hoggle at all? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt for that man. I was like, that moment when he has the whole thing in the film about like conflict of whether or not to give the fruit to what's her face, to Sarah, and it's like it's basic, but it's really I thought it was quite cute and charming. Like all these like the way the puppet's facial, like I really felt for him. It was quite convincing. And the second when he rejoins the crew and everyone forgives him, I was like, oh, Hoggle. I felt for him anyway. I thought it was
I don't think I had that level of resonance with Hoggle, but I did understand. I think the conflict was good. Like he's basically the Goblin King was Jareth was threatening him with the eternal stench, which is basically this universe's version of hell, just infinite infinite bad stench.
Yeah.
So the fact that they added that in as a kind of like consequence was kind of a bit disturbing for Hoggle.
Definitely.
In particular, so yeah, that was good.
That's actually very true because I don't know, hell as a concept is kind of a bit vague for me. It's like, okay, so I just imagine I imagine like the Nether from Minecraft or some shit. I imagine some place where there's just lava and it's like meant to be really bad or something. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then this film makes it scary because it's like, no, the thing about it is that it smells real bad, like really bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that I can understand that. That sounds terrible.
And your worst uncle is always there.
Right. Right.
The fact that they added that in kind of kids' movie is what made it disturbing for Hoggle.
Do you think it sort of does blur the line between it's a kids' movie? No doubt, I think. But I think it blurs some lines. The whole world that Jim built here and like just the vibe of all the goblins and the character, it's a very dark world. There's not much color going on. It's a pretty scary place, I think, for like little kids to want to like watch a film
right. Well, okay, I think that's like part of what I thought more of the film would be, because it's like the purse is very bright. I think when you think of Labyrinth and like, I don't know, when you think of Bowie, who's such a, you know, garish like individual and stuff, like you think it'll be like very like colorful and bright. But yeah, it was a lot like muddier than that.
Definitely.
A lot darker, yeah.
No doubt. Dude, that first shot they do, you know, when Sarah's in her bedroom and it's like, you know, I can't remember. I think she's like saying the thing that ends up like triggering Bowie to turn up. When she starts speaking and they do that first, like, just sudden cut to all the goblins on screen, like all the puppets stacked up.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? You know that shot?
Wait, when is it? When the first in the baby's room or whatever?
Yeah. It's like the first shot of any puppet in the film. It's.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like they're at the end of the bed or whatever.
I think so, but they're not there, are they?
Oh, you're talking about when they're reacting to her.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
That shit was terrifying to me, man.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I can see that too, but I shat myself because they look so scary. Like the first, like it was like a pretty brief shot, and they all had red eyes. And they looked, and once again, the puppets, say 1,000 times, the puppets all look amazing. So when they flash up, I'm like, what the hell was that? It scared the shit out of me. Holy God. Anyway,
I think that
would scare a little kid, I think, personally.
Oh, yeah, this is nightmare fuel for kids.
Yeah.
There was a few moments like that did kind of shock me a little bit, yeah. I can't remember what they were exactly, but I think like in the first 20 or so minutes, there was something like that.
Yeah. There's a few little ones for sure. Anyway, what about David Bowie? So thank you for reminding me that he plays, the character's name is Jareth. Jareth. Okay, all right. Definitely wouldn't have remembered that.
Oh, but, I found out the dog, the squirrel's name is Didymus.
Oh, yeah?
Sir Didymus.
That's fantastic. All right, yeah, he speaks in all the night language tongue. Come thee forth. Yes, all that. I love it. Bowie in the film, I don't know. I feel like there's like maybe a lot to say because, like, okay, I'll say that his look is no doubt eccentric, to say the least. He's pretty out there looking. I don't know. I don't really know anything about David Bowie. I don't know like what he looked like as a normal person. Like did he have sort of like a rock star persona like on stage and shit where like he sort of did that wild shit with his hair as well? Like I don't know but right, he did.
Oh yeah, because he had like multiple characters that he played. Like he played really? He played like Ziggy Stardust. Was one of his personas. So he was always like in some colorful kind of shit. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so this is actually like just turning this on. This actually is kind of, if you're a Bowie fan, this is kind of on brand for him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, he never had his hair like that, but he definitely did some. He definitely had some crazy hairstyles throughout his career.
Got it. Okay, no, that's kind of cool. I get that. Yeah, he was. Look, shout out to Henry's review that he wrote like a few years ago or whatever, because the crotch outline is indeed a main character of this film. I actually, I agree. Things like obviously with that review, like I always remember that review too. Going into it, I was like obviously aware of this, so like I was looking for it, but man, I couldn't stop looking for it. You know what I mean? I couldn't stop seeing it.
Really?
Just everywhere. Oh yeah.
I thought it was a little less present than
you expected.
Yeah, than expected. Yeah.
What, were you expecting him in like a G-string or something? Or what else did you want?
No, I don't know. I was just a bit more. I don't know. I only saw it a few times, to be honest.
Okay. I thought it was pretty present.
Just blended into the background.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it was always, no exposed skin by any means, but it's just the outline, it's just the imagination, what it does and all that. Yeah, so that was pretty present in my opinion, but bloody, I don't know. I guess I'm just dancing around the fact that, to no one's surprise, like anytime he started singing, I was out.
Right. Okay.
It was like the main. I actually kind of like the Dance Magic song. Like that's sort of the first scene, the musical scene we get.
That's decent.
The song's pretty good, actually. I kind of liked it. But in terms of like what's happening in this movie, I'm like, I don't know why we're doing this right now. I don't know. It's pretty random.
Yeah. The songs just feel like random at a certain point, and the point where I checked out was where I most checked out was the orange people in the like when Ludo falls down and the orange people, like the headless orange people.
Oh, that was
singing.
yeah.
I was just like, I think I just blanked those few minutes, and I couldn't even really understand what they were saying. Like I could only half understand what they were singing about. They were saying like when things get tough, become a headless one of us or something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
It was very,
no, basically,
it was very random.
to my best recollection with subtitles, they were just singing about being headless is good and don't don't take other people's. It's so weird. Don't take other people's. You can don't take other people's heads, but keep your own head. But take your own head off.
Something. I don't know.
Only in Labyrinth.
Let's see in the rules of the weird society.
Exactly.
It's like cult.
A weird society cult culture that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they were doing. Yeah. So I'm glad you're reminding me of that one because that was probably the only bad sequence in the movie, actually. Because it didn't do anything for me. The puppets in it, they looked good, but they looked like the most. They were like the least impressed I was with the puppets, combined with the fact that the green screen was terrible.
Oh yeah, the green screen was terrible. Yeah,
so bad, and which is arguably forgivable for a film this old. But more to the point is the fact that there was pretty much no green screen anywhere else. There was a lot of matte paintings in this movie, and they look great. So when you get to a green screen, it's like, what the fuck? And then it's just the fact that they sing, but they're the only characters in the movie who sing outside of Bowie. It's like it's weird. Like I would have. As much as I didn't really care for the Bowie singing scenes, it's like, let's stick with, if someone's going to sing, at least let Bowie sing. Like, why are these dudes singing? You know what I mean? None of the other puppets sing, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that, yeah. I guess Bowie does sing.
I think so, yeah. So, no, I'm in total agreement that scene was not good in my opinion. But it's fine, because then Ludo comes back on screen and I'm just happy again. You know, it's like, it's Ludo. That's sick. I guess the other one of those scenes too, I don't know if I felt about this one, but one where I tuned out for sure, I think I literally got up and started walking around, was when bloody the eyes wide shut hallucination sequence. And that there's like a 3-minute music video for that.
Oh yeah. That was another one that was not that was the most challenging, one of the most challenging parts to watch. It was just very random as well.
Absolutely.
I didn't really catch what Barry was saying either. So
no. I understand some of the allegory in terms of like her imagination. Like Bowie's specific purpose in the film story-wise, I don't quite understand, I don't think. It's like, what are his motivations? He wants to, like, obviously he drugs her with the fruit or whatever and like wants to make her forget about her brother, presumably to, make sure she doesn't make it to the castle. But like, why? If I meant to interpret the whole thing as part of her imagination, and the end of the film comes about like when she says, what does she say? She's like, "Oh, you don't have any control over me," is what she like ends up learning, and then and that's how she is able to end it. I guess I'm just saying. I feel like with that in mind, I feel like Bowie's meant to be some sort of allegory for like some sort of mental thing happening with her, or some sort of something in her life that she's like letting go of to be able to complete the mission. You know what I mean?
Well, like I never thought about this till now, but like maybe, and it didn't make any sense to me when I was watching the film. Like Bowie didn't, Jareth didn't as a character. But like, I guess you could see him as like the personification and like the creator of all her like imagination, and like his appeal is that he takes away the real world and basically places her in this world, because the labyrinth is like, it's all kind of his, he like runs everything basically, because he has magic and other character. No one else has magic, so I guess he just has created this whole place. Yeah. So I guess her rejecting him is kind of realizing I want to go back to being a babysitter or whatever, back to the real world,
right?
Stop living in this fantasy land, which I guess makes sense. I didn't think of it in the film, but I guess Bowie's like, why don't you appreciate me for all I've done? I've given you this whole world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think, well, that's great. I think you're spot on because then there's also the whole talk about, you know, she wants to be free of him and like him being like, you're my slave. Like, there's some talk about slavery labeled
Oh
into
yeah,
it. Like,
he says, "I'll be your slave." So like he'll be
yes,
the slave that like creates everything. If you just like love me and you know you like commit to me, whatever. I guess.
yes. And this is in line with like the very brief opening sequence of the film in the real world where like Sarah, her whole character is like, she wants to basically be like a fantasy, I don't know, character or something. She like loves
Mm,
reading about it and like she's trying to recite the lines and then because she's late, like she basically wants to be in her own fantasy world at that point. It's like her
right.
whole thing. And she
Yeah.
doesn't want to babysit her brother.
Right. Well, the thing about like the start of the film is that like the mother is kind of right. Like the mother wasn't like uh an evil like stepmother at like at any point, and she's just kind of
No,
like imagining her like suffering or whatever, like she's in a fairy tale. So like I think the film like it does have a kind of point in that she's kind of a bit lost in a fantasy. She's taking it a bit too far, I guess, because she's kind of crying about nothing
yeah,
at the start of the film. I'm kind of like, well, what's wrong about this situation?
yes, no, 100%. I was totally, I was against her at the start for sure. I guess in that way because she doesn't want to. Doesn't the mother say something about her like going on, go on a date or something? I think it is about like she doesn't want to. AKA, she doesn't want to take responsibility for like babysitting her brother. She doesn't want to deal with real world like grow
Mm.
up, so to speak, or whatever. Um, However you want to phrase that, which is interesting. That actually makes me like the ending quite a bit because if you view it that way, of then she is able to return to the real world by sort of letting go of what Jareth represents, I guess. Then when you get back to the ending, and it's like then she sees all of her friends, the puppet friends, like in her room, and they're all there at the end. That's
Oh
actually
yeah, and they say
that's
if you need us, like call on us, right?
yeah, and it's like your child is like always a part of you. Your imagination can always be a part of you, but it's like it's about balance. Like it exists in this, it exists in the real world. That's why they're there in her bedroom at the end. It's like
Ah,
they all exist. It doesn't have to be these two separate worlds. You need to be able to face reality, but you also can like the fun times are here when you need them as well. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to let go of it necessarily fully.
mm. Wow. So good thing we talked about it. Otherwise, Jareth would just be the evil bulge guy, forever in my mind. He wouldn't have a purpose.
Exactly, dude. We just solved Labyrinth. Drop the
Solved it.
mic.
Yeah.
We did it. We did it. Holy shit, dude. That's actually.
It
I
makes me
think that
like.
all adds up, right?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Film
I
makes
think it
sense
does.
now. God damn.
That's actually a cool message, though. I like that. I think that's sweet.
Mm.
Nice. Okay. Very, very good. I don't. We're so proud of ourselves, but then like the second I like look up someone else's opinion, it's just like the most obvious thing ever.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it probably is obvious. Yeah.
they had this shit figured out in like the second it premiered in 1986. Still thought it was dog shit. Anyway, I like it. I think that's cool, personally. There's just a lot of scenes in this movie. I feel like surely I've.
There was Oh yeah, you mentioned like the first there was like the snail dude who's like, come in for some tea. And then
Oh
he
yeah.
says like the labyrinth is like, optical illusion. I actually really like that part where she like walks behind the door and then walks the other way. It's like visual kind of humor.
Yes. Yes. It looked great too. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
you couldn't tell at all.
Because like when she goes one way, you're like, oh, there's like a false mole there, and then she goes the other way, and you're not even expecting it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was really good. But dude, well, first of all, I don't know where she was going to go in for tea with that little snail man. Don't know where
Mm.
she was going to fit. And second of all, he had huge danger vibes. Come in for some tea, little kid. Like I was like, no,
Mm.
no, no, thanks. I don't know what you're going to do to me. I wasn't super into that, to be honest.
And then
Mm.
you had like the eyes on the wall as well. Like that first part was definitely creepy when she first goes into the maze, into the labyrinth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got some trivia for sure. let's give some shout outs to the puppeteering. Hoggle consisted of Shari Weiser inside the suit and 4 puppeteers led by Brian Henson controlling 18 motors inside the face rig. Manipulating a mechanical mitt on his right hand, Henson controlled Hoggle's jaw movements and provided the voice. Another puppeteer provided further lip movements with another mitt. The third puppeteer used a fingertip joystick lever to control Hoggle's eyes and eyelids. The fourth used a similar mechanism to animate the eyebrows and a foot pedal to control the skin around Hoggle's eyes. Holy shit. The puppeteers had to rehearse together for weeks to anticipate each other's movements. Shout out.
God damn.
Very impressive. It pays off. Like, it really looks fantastic. If anyone it doesn't believe me, I recommend watching the movie for how good these puppets look.
Yeah. They look a bit more like more than puppets, I guess, because they are a bit more than puppets, but yeah, I guess they're still puppets.
They're still technically yeah, that's right. But they're not they're not Elmo, not some dude with any right. Yeah, there's a lot going on, no doubt. Yeah. As part of that, to help the puppeteer inside him to see, there was a miniature video camera in Ludo's right horn that fed to a small screen installed inside his head. That's like some futuristic shit there. It's like piloting a crazy mech suit or some shit there that Ludo was doing there. Don't know if this stood out to you. The owl in the title sequence is computer generated. Did you notice?
Oh no, I didn't notice that. That was seamless.
This was the first attempt at a photorealistic CGI animal character in a feature film.
Ever? Oh, really? Oh.
Look, I'm not going to hate on it too hard. It's the first time it was ever done, so props to them for trying. But it looked really bad. But good for them. Good for them for trying. I guess the only sequence we didn't specifically talk about much was sort of the crazy stairwell. Was there? Did you dig that one?
Oh, right. No, not really. That was a bit. Yeah, that was a tune-out moment as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Trying to find that stupid ass baby. God damn. Nice. Okay. Fitzy, we solved Labyrinth, so therefore I'm expecting a high score. What are you going to give it?
Well, I think I was coming in with a 6, but maybe. There was some parts in the second half that tuned out on. We didn't talk about the whole battle sequence, which was good decent.
It was actually good, yeah, I agree.
But I think the fact that we did some film does. I think it does make a bit more sense now, and I think that there are enough entertaining aspects and elements that I really respect. As we were talking about the amazing puppeteering going on, so I'll slap a 7 on it. Nice.
I think yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. I think it sounded like in moments I was a bit more into some of the characters and stuff, but I mostly agree with you. Yeah, I'll definitely slap a 7 on it for sure. Good, yeah, good shout out to the battle sequence as well. I mean, I can talk about Ludo all day because he's amazing, but is he got
he controls
powers?
Rocks. Yeah,
exactly.
He does have magic. Jareth isn't the only guy with magic. Ludo has magic. Yes, he's the Rock King.
Is it the Rock? Is it only rocks?
I think so. I think that's all he does. Right?
Yeah,
brings in rocks from the village.
I mean, it was useful, but it's kind of a limiting power. You know what I mean? You are granted the power of rocks.
Yeah, very limiting.
It's all right, I'll take it. Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, we should definitely rename this episode. What do you reckon? Labyrinth solved?
Labyrinth Explained? Yeah.
Yes, Labyrinth Explained. That's great. Everyone, there's probably... this has got me thinking. If there isn't already a few Labyrinth Explained videos on YouTube, this could be a great SEO opportunity for us right now. Everyone watching the film on Netflix for the first time is going to be searching Labyrinth Explained.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a market for it right now. Yeah.
There is. All right, I should look into that. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll make a clip video of Labyrinth Explained.
Oh, and then just put it up, upload it by itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes or something. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I'll probably definitely
two idiots find out the point of the movie that was probably explained in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. No news chat. Now it's time for our highlights of the week. Fitzy, what have you been watching?
I watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. At I watched it with Andy at the Sun Theatre in Yarraville. We watched it on 35mm film, a restoration from the 90s. I think it's my first time that I've watched, a 35mm film. I guess it's my second time watching a film projected on film after, Oppenheimer on 70mm. So yeah, it was a great experience. There was, a lot of juicy, scratches or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And there's dots, before they change the reels. And the colors were really amazing. The colors really like at the start, there's a sequence where they're making it's like a montage of how they make all the chocolate, and the chocolate's just really it's got this really golden brown color, just pops off the screen. And then yellows and reds and blues were really vivid. So yeah, it was really cool watching it, how it was made, how it was supposed to be viewed. So yeah, it was a good experience.
What do you think of the actual is the film like? I think I've seen it once, maybe. Is it like a classic film?
Well, I really loved it the first time I saw it. I gave it a 10, but I think as I was saying to Andy, I think when you watch stuff, there's an element of luck in just anything in film watching. If you watch something at the right time, it can just kind of any movie can kind of be a 10. But I do think it's a pretty perfect kids film just by itself. I think it's pretty entertaining and has just a good kind of moral through line, I guess. But
yeah.
And there's a lot of it's a very comedic movie. There's a lot of good skits and stuff. And I think the production design is still amazing. The pure imagination sequence still it still gives me chills even watching it for the second time. So I do really love the movie.
We'll see what Timmy can do. We'll see.
Or not.
Or not do.
Or we could not.
Yikes. Well, are you interested in that film?
Wonka. No, we talked about this. It's Wanker.
Yeah, I know. But are you still curious though to check it out?
No, not really.
No, I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. I watched this week. We watched and finished The Bear season 2. Just recycling.
Ooh.
Recycling all your highlights, man. I don't know.
Oh, what?
I don't know. Look, I enjoyed it. It's definitely good. It's just this. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. It's hard. I just can't love it. I just can't quite because there's so many things it does that are so fantastic, and I can always look to and acting phenomenal, cinematography phenomenal. Some standout episodes, no doubt. Dude, that episode with Richie, where he works at the restaurant.
Oh, that's amazing. That's one of the best episodes of the entire show.
Unbelievable. It totally turned me around on him 100%. I just loved it. And there are moments sort of sprinkled throughout some fantastic scenes. I loved in that episode, the scene with Olivia Colman is great. I also loved the episode with Marcus as well when he goes over to bloody Denmark or wherever he was. Yeah, great, yeah. And the scene he has with Will Poulter, fantastic. All these sort of I love sort of just when the show just breathes and just lets the actors just do their thing and I know they really chew into their characters. I love all that shit. But I think I figured out that I just don't really like its style of storytelling overall. It's just the whole 1 hour stress fest episode with the dinner, Christmas dinner thing. It's a great piece of work from everyone involved, no doubt. But I just didn't really like it. It's just, I don't know. It's a bit much for me, I think. And it doesn't help. I understand its purpose, but it's sort of whenever the show leans more into that side of it where it's I don't know, meant to sort of give some sort of insight into Carmen's underlying anxiety and stress and all this sort of shit. It doesn't really work for me. I don't really like Carmen, and I think he's kind of the worst part of the show, to be honest. I just
really,
yeah, he I don't like him nearly as much as I think I'm meant to, and like the ending of the show, kind of fell flat. Like I don't really. First of all, I don't really understand if I'm meant to feel that they succeeded or not. But not in like a vague like there's pros and cons. I just have no clue. Like, did they? I really just felt nothing towards it because I understand it's meant to be like a really bad like it's meant to be a low thing for, like where he's at personally. But I kind of think he's just a dick and kind of deserved it, you know.
Mm.
And then in terms of like the actual success of the restaurant opening itself, which the whole season was building to, the episode just sort of went in a direction where I feel like it lost sight of like what the goal was, and I just had no sense by the end of if they did it or not. You know,
Really?
like I
I
would
feel
have been
like
totally.
they definitely did it.
You think so?
I think that was
Okay, it's like so it was like the restaurant was a success opening night.
But they and they did it without Kami's, most of Kami's help because he was locked in the fridge.
Because he was locked in the fridge. Exactly.
Mm.
But it's meant to be like a personal down for Kami.
Mm.
But like, so like a bittersweet thing, I guess, like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I do see how like the ending with Kami and Claire could feel flat, I guess. I think some people didn't like that specifically. But I do think that, kind of Richie taking charge after like his personal development.
That was great.
From the previous episode you mentioned where he's like does the fork stuff at the 5-star restaurant or whatever. Like that was really good. So I think they did make it in the end. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was a success. But yeah, Kami is a low for Kami for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the ideas. Like I like all the conflicts it plays with. Like, when he has the long conversation with his uncle about how he can't allow any more distractions. Like, he needs to be laser focused on this shit. He needs to. The restaurant is his life at this point, and how that conflicts with Claire, obviously, and then like he has this whole internal conflict about it where he outbursts. But I just wanted more from him. I think it was just he came across as unlikable to me in the whole situation because the show talks so much about like all these businesses closing and how tough of a time like the market is in restaurants in Chicago and that kind of thing. Like, okay, they did one practice opening night and like, the food was good. Okay. But like, I don't know, like I don't have any sense of the trajectory of how this is going to continue for them. I understand the show's probably going to continue, but even still, I don't feel like I have like an end beat of where the restaurant is at right now. I guess it's poised well, but I just like momentum wise, I don't have a sense of like, oh shit, this business could be in trouble, or oh, this business is thriving. Like I just sort of haven't either. I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'll see next season. Sure, that's fine, but like,
yeah, that makes sense. I guess you're just supposed to take it like more at face value that they're like more of a functional team, and Kami, who has all the talent, isn't just like the one that's like running it all.
Yes. Slightly more functional. There's still a lot of dysfunction going on, but they got the job done. So,
functionally,
that's cool.
Dysfunctional.
Yes, I think that's fair. I was looking up. There's going to be season 3, right? They just haven't announced it because of the strike, I would guess.
Oh, they better have season 3.
Yeah.
I'll see to it personally, though.
I was just curious about it because, like, heading into the final episode, as far as I knew, that everything was going to go great and that was going to be the end of the show, That's not how it went. Okay. So the way it ended, it felt like there had to be a season 3, and then there just was no announcement of a season 3. So, but like I said, I assume that's a strike thing. But
yeah, could be.
It's a big hit, right? So it's got to come back, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know how it works with Disney because they have a different like income model, but yeah, I'm sure if it's getting enough attention on Disney, they'll reinstate it or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's like because over there it's on Hulu. And that's like I think it's like their flagship show. So I presume, I'm only judging by the fact like I saw like every 2 steps I took in Los Angeles there was a bear poster. So
oh really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I judging by that, I think it's pretty safe. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, who is your favourite puppet character? Did we decide on who? Oh, yeah, we did decide on who. Who is your favourite puppet character? I was deciding whether we should just make it what, which is probably a bit insensitive, but anyway. Andy said, Andy didn't write in an essay. Thank you so much, Andy. God bless. Andy said, my favourite puppet character would probably be Grover, the blue skinny monster from Sesame Street. I haven't seen the show in ages, so I'm sadly unable to indulge Zac with an essay this week. Oh man, the war still continues. I've got to figure out like a counter way to get back at Andy, because we're apparently at war, but I don't have anything to. What can I do? I don't have any ammunition at this point.
Ammunition, any tools.
I've got to figure out something that's going to like. I mean, I can just ban him from the show, but that feels a bit. That's not clever enough. I don't know. I've got to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, if you rub things in too far, like if you keep bringing up The Departed, maybe you'll just like write longer essays. You don't want that.
Yeah,
it's a tough situation.
It is. I feel like I've got to start playing. Yeah, I've got to start like playing in a whole different playing field. Like I've got to like open up the battlefield or something. Anyway, but I remember his character having a silly voice, and I realized it being stupid, and it used to be a good thing as a kid. Whenever I watched, which is probably why I'm still stupid to this day. Andy, are you making the argument that Grover, it's like he's encouraging kids to be stupid? Interesting. All right. Super Grover were definitely the best segments. Second favourite was Ernie because of his rubber ducky. I was going to say rubber dicky accidentally. Jim Henson voices Ernie too, randomly enough. Well, not really random. I mean, that is... That's a good fact, but like it's not really randomly enough because like the whole thing that Jim Henson is known for is that first, right? Like the Sesame Street stuff, first and foremost, right?
Well, not Sesame. I think he did the Muppets first. He didn't create Sesame Street. He created a lot of the puppets, so like half of the puppets. Like he didn't create Elmo, but he created like Grouch and Ernie and Bert and Big Bird and stuff.
I guess I assumed Sesame Street was first just because like whenever I see it on IMDb, I'm reminded that the show started in like 1920 or some shit. It started, every time it wasn't that, but every time I see like Sesame Street when the show began, it's like always like way earlier. It's like older than our parents, I think. It's crazy. Luke said, Kermit the Frog, I want to hear all of your impressions. No. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't. Liam, feel free.
I actually practiced a bit, but it was for like a minute.
Okay.
Not because I saw this answer, because I thought that my answer might be Kermit.
Okay.
How do you do it? Luke can do it really well. He can do the Kermit, Jordan Peterson voice really well, but it's not easy being green. Oh god, that was bad.
I appreciate points for effort. It was okay.
Not as good as my Tony Montana.
No, definitely not. Can you do a bit more?
No, man.
Nice. We'll have to get Spooky to do Kermit the Frog. Yeah, he can. I actually forgot about that. He can do a good Kermit. That's true. We'll have to get him to do it next time.
Record your Kermit voice and put it on Discord.
That too. Yes, do that. Absolutely. Hang on, but you were going to answer Kermit? Like, that's the thing. Kermit's not an iconic character for me. Like, he's fine, but...
he's become like a meme kind of character, and he has like that iconic voice.
I guess I do get that. But like he definitely wasn't like in the realm of my answers. But did he end up being yours or?
I think I came up with Bert because I think Bert is he's one of the few Muppets that has an eyebrow for some reason. Like I don't know why there are like a small amount of Muppets that have eyebrows, because eyebrows are like supposed to be the most like expressive part of the face, But I landed on Bert, the banana guy. He's just a good dude, I don't know.
That's fantastic.
I was thinking only of Bert. Ended up with Bert because the eyebrows.
Well, it's a monobrow.
Monobrow, yes. Yes, not eyebrows, yes. True.
Well, you've drawn attention to a fact about Bert I've never really like consciously noticed. But it's like the whole thing with eyebrows. You don't notice eyebrows. We've been over this. But like, how can I not see that? That is a snake of a thing on his face, you know?
I think,
Holy
isn't
shit.
that like his whole thing, like his eyebrow expressions, where he like Ernie will say something weird and Bert will be like, he'll put, he'll like crease his face to the center or whatever. Put his eyebrows
Yeah.
arching towards each other.
It's like it's basically its own character. That's great. For me, I mean, first of all, Ludo.
Oh, yeah.
Ludo. The GOAT.
Yeah.
The GOAT. Ludo. I'm actually not even joking. To go outside of this particular film, though, Sesame Street, it's got to be between Cookie Monster and Big Bird for me. They're two standouts. They're two standouts. Big Bird, I think Big Bird, I think Mum told me this like semi recently that Big Bird used to be like my favorite. I don't recall this, but I believe it. Apparently Big Bird was like my childhood favorite, which is a good choice.
Everyone
young
loves
Zac.
Big Bird.
Yeah, he's great. He's like really tall and shit. And he's like, I can't remember like what his actual character is, but I think he's like, isn't he like a cool dude? Isn't he like a nice guy? You know?
Yeah,
just a stand-up citizen.
He has a lot of information at his fingertips usually. Yeah,
right. Does he spit facts for the kids?
But yeah, I feel like he does spit a lot of facts. I feel like he's one of the main fact spitters.
Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, that's good. And dude, Cookie Monster's great because he just loves cookies. He's like, that's his whole. Imagine, it's so great because it's like they created a character. That his whole character is he just loves cookies. Yeah, that's it. And that's genius. You know, I love it. That's fantastic because I love cookies too. You know, I don't know if this is controversial. E.T. This is now a separate subject. E.T. isn't that impressive to me. Like in any way.
No, not really. I haven't seen E.T., but no, the design isn't that.
Oh, you haven't?
Impressive.
Oh, no. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, I think E.T. is a good movie, don't get me wrong. I feel like, it's like quintessential, like what you'd expect from like a Spielberg movie, like by definition almost in a way. And I think it's great for that. And like the kids and everything, like that's all good. Josh Brolin. Oh no, Josh Brolin's the other. I always get that mixed up. Josh Brolin's in Goonies. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I've just never been impressed by the puppet, like the way it moves or anything. And like E.T. the character is kind of basically a MacGuffin to me in the movie. It's like the fact that the kids meet the alien is what that part of it is cool. Like I'm not like invested in personally. I'm not like, dude, E.T.'s a sick character or anything, you know. That's just me. But
fair enough.
You don't know.
I don't know. I can't argue back. I can't say anything.
Yeah, you have to watch the film this week and let me know what you think. Okay. I don't know if I just like said something like crazy to people. I don't know, but probably not. I don't know. Got no idea. All right. As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and/or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or your Instagram comment sections, or join the Discord server. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is, this is good, what is your favorite movie with an animal or creature in the title? What's one like this we've done? We've done like favorite movie with a city in the title, I think. That rings a bell.
Yeah, I think we did that. Yeah. So there was another one, but yeah. But like with this question, the more we figured that like it might seem like there's just kids movies at first, but the more you think about it, the more answers there are. You know, Batman. We'll give you that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Open your minds to the question, and some good answers will come. Hopefully,
let the question flow through you.
Indeed, let us know. Okay, that's it for this week's episode of Cinema Effect. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
We are continuing the Hunger Games train. We're doing Mockingjay Part 1. You know, Mockingjay's a bird. That's how we came up with the name. Which is on Stan, Prime, and Netflix. Yes, it's on
everything.
All the things.
Very good. All right. I'm excited to check it out once again. Have you seen this film once?
Probably. Maybe twice, but probably once.
Yeah. Okay. Jaden and I watched it in RE, I'm pretty sure. So.
Oh, did you?
Classic. Yeah. As you do. So, I think we're veterans of this film. That's it. Thanks for joining me, Liam.
Thank you. It was good.
Excellent.
We did well.
We did well. It's actually, runtime wise, it's going to be a pretty straightforward journey for me, editing wise. So I'm thankful for that. And thankful for everyone watching once again. We'll see you all next time. Have a great week and goodbye.